But we do have a great morning planned, and there's no better way to, speaking of the most interesting man in the world, he couldn't be here, but we've got a close second as our first guest. He's the Vice President of Finance here at Crescent Crown Distributing. How about a big Mesa Morning Live for our first guest, Mr. Neil Baier. Neil, come on out. Good to have you here, Neil.
Thank you.
I was going to say thanks for stopping by, but I guess thank you for letting us all stop by. This is Neil's roadie that will be miking him up. This is awesome. Is this a daily occurrence? You walk in the building and they put a mic on you?
Basically.
That's awesome. Well, tell us a little bit. This is our first time. This is my first time here. I don't know about these folks. If we were to go back there in the warehouse, what would we find?
Besides the most interesting man in the world?
Yes.
Okay. You'd find about 800,000 cases of beer is what you'd find. And that's pretty much what we do. I like to tell the story of, so everybody here, who knows who John McCain is? You know John McCain and his wife Cindy? Well, they do Budweiser, right? We pretty much do everything else. That's what we do. And that's how we compete with them, because a full 35% of beer sold in America right now is either Bud or Bud Light. So the way we compete is with our portfolio, and we're pretty proud of the brands that we sell: Miller, Coors, Heineken, Corona, and we have everything from Mike's Hard Lemonade to Dos Equis, like you mentioned. We're also pretty proud of our Drink Local program. So Papago Brewing down in Phoenix, and Santan and Chandler and Sunup and Grand Canyon, and great Arizona brands. I think that's where the market is right now. They tell a good story.
So tell me, get 800,000 cases.
We will between here and our surprise facility. We keep probably about 1 million cases, but we're going to sell about 16 million cases this year of beer.
Wow.
So I'm glad that Arizona people are thirsty. That's all I can say.
So if you start that song, 800,000 cases of beer on the wall, that's a long song.
Wait a second, but you're talking to the finance and accounting guy. I don't want to talk about breakage. That's the last thing I want to talk about. So I don't like hearing that song. So.
Oh yeah, take one now. That's awesome. Well, tell us a little bit about the impact that you think that Crescent Crown has on the city of Mesa.
Well, as I guess everybody knows by now, we've only been here for about 4 months. We broke ground here in the parking lot over there on January 25th of 2011, and we moved in on January 30th, 2012. So it was about a year that from shoveling ground to having this place up, and we're excited to be here. This room is really one of the reasons why we built this place. We had a really small room in our old place that was literally an office that we took the cubes out, and with the traditional offices around the end. So we'd have a meeting and there'd be people in their offices like closing the doors and putting music up loud so they couldn't hear us. So we couldn't really hold an event like this. And we use this room not just for our internal use, like sales meetings, and I was going to bring up the bar that we have back there. That really is, we do use that for training and other uses.
Training? That's what we're calling it now.
Oh, I'm sorry, I misspoke. Training.
Okay.
Okay. But the reality is that we use this room for events just like this, and we've hosted things. Well, we're happy to have Mesa Morning Live. We've also had Councilman Kavanaugh do his breakfast here. We've had actually an employee party here to celebrate the opening of the building. So we have to do a lot of things here. This is really the centerpiece of our room, and we plan on using this moving forward. And the long answer to that is the reason why we do this is because our mission is to be a leader in the market, is to be recognized nationally, and that means a lot to us. We've won a lot of awards. This year was a banner year. We won the President's Award for Miller Coors. We won the Red Star Award for Heineken, showing that we're basically distributor of the year. But it also means being involved in our community. And we have our board member, we're on the boards of a lot of different organizations, but we really believe in being involved with the community where we work. So. We raised over $100,000 to the United Way, and this year we're going to be part of the Mesa United Way. We've donated about $100,000 through our employee beer donations. This is an important part of what we do. So,
Very cool. As a, I was going to say bean counter, but in your business, is it like a hop
count? Yeah,
hop counter?
There you go. You know, the funny thing is that I said it all the time. I came from Intel. I worked at Intel for 5 years, and at which they do chips, right? Well, so I've gone from a chip company to, I guess, a company that sells stuff that tastes good with chips. So that's how I go.
I hear that Old El Paso is trying to recruit you now. The salsa company.
Yeah, yeah. I'm from New York, and I love those commercials. New York City. No, anyway.
Get a rope. Well, what kind of economically? I can't imagine the economic impact that you must mean to the city of Mesa. Is that?
Well, you know, the first thing is that this piece of land was probably the last piece of land that was not developed in this part of Mesa. It was like a tree grows in Brooklyn type thing. And our friend Craig Burge decided to sell it to us after twisting his arm completely off. But the city of Mesa was making about $20,000 a year on this land just because it was agricultural land. So when we came in and fully developed it, they're going to be making almost $300,000 a year from us, of which about 90% of it goes into the Mesa School District. So you can say right there alone, our tax money is going to be used for a pretty good thing. The other thing is, we have 400 plus employees that come out of here, and you know, I did a tour a couple days ago, and it came up. You know, we don't outsource our drivers. We don't, you know, yeah, we have maybe a little bit outsourced in our shop, but the reality is, we have 400 plus employees coming out of this building. We pay working wages. We pay our benefits. You know, health insurance, 401k plan. You know, we're still contributing. I'm proud to work for a company that still matches 401k. When you hear about companies who don't do that anymore due to the economy. So we're proud of the employees that we have here. We have a lot of them come out of here, so I think the economic impact is pretty positive.
Very cool. Well, if this was a room full of people looking for to work here, and you were doing a pitch on why they should, what are you most proud of?
I say all the time, if you have to work, you might as well work for a beer company. I mean, come on. Let's just say that this company matches my interests quite well. We work hard and we play hard here. I mean, the reality is that this is a fun place to work. We run Best Places to Work in 2009, and we won it again in 2011 because the fact is that this is a fun place to work. We work hard, though. I mean, I had the pleasure of working in the warehouse one night because all the executive team, we go out and do different jobs. Just, you want to see what our folks are doing. And our pickers out in the warehouse, these guys pick, 300-400 cases an hour, literally by hand, putting them on the trucks, getting them into our regular trucks so they can be delivered. I'll tell you what, I was sore in places that I didn't even know I had. These guys work hard, but you know what? We treat our employees right. Like I said, we have good benefits. We have, there's also ancillary benefits. Our owner, Bubba Moffitt, we put on a great party for the employees after we open the place. A lot of sporting events that we get tickets to. But the reality is that we've been recognized as a great place to work, and I'm proud to say that I think we are.
Very cool. Well, I'll tell you what, of all the places that we go to, the facilities here are phenomenal. I mean, these big screens are super. I think maybe Monday Night Football's in order right here.
I'm thinking.
We got big screens with incredible resolution and 800,000 cases of beer. And I didn't even mention what's on tap right now. So, actually, I think, Bubba, can we do something about that? Yeah, sure, okay. All right. So. We hear that we have that on film.
Yeah, great.
Perfect. You know what? I think we're a couple of minutes. I don't know if you're up for this, but maybe a question from our audience. Anybody?
I'm fine.
All right. I hear a donation to the food bank. That is awesome. Thank you for. Nobody likes to be the first. Thank you for kicking that off, sir. Does anybody have a question for Mr. Baier here before we turn him loose and let him go back and pick some more cases? Anybody? Oh, there's a gentleman right there.
What year did this company start?
Great question. So actually, I know that the mayor, when he was announcing this place, he was very keen to talk about the history of this company. Our current ownership bought out the Pierce Company, and the Pierce Company actually started back in 1911, right down on Main Street in Mesa. So that was the Coors distributor. Actually, the Pierce Company was the first Coors distributor outside of Colorado, because at the time Coors was not pasteurized, and they had a huge cooler, and it was the only cooler big enough to hold their beer. So that's why we ended up being a distributor. So that was the Coors side of the business. And then the Miller side of the business, I think it started as Shamrock Distributing and then became Miller Brands of Phoenix. And when Miller Coors became a joint venture, I think it was like 2001, they came together. So as a one group, and for various reasons that it wasn't performing as well as they wanted to. So the Moffats and the Gold Rings out of Louisiana came and bought in 2004, and I could say that our performance has done much better since then. You know, at the time, we're proud to say that we've gained about 20 shares of market share since we've taken over. I mean, it's been a big success story for us, and we're excited to keep that success story going. So.
Speak on Miller. Tastes great, less filling. Which one is it?
Yes.
Yes. Yes, very diplomatic. I see why you're the hops counter.
Yes, absolutely. It does definitely taste great and less filling.
I thought it was either or, but it's both.
Yes. Does this now mean that it's Miller time?
I notice we're serving breakfast right there. If you go over there, are there morning beers that go well with eggs and bacon?
Well, you know, the problem is that we're the middle tier of the three-tier system, and the only people that we are legally allowed to sell to is people with a liquor license. So if anybody here has a liquor license and you're a retailer, then come and see us. We'll definitely want to sell to you. But otherwise, I'm sorry, I can't.
Anybody besides me have a liquor license? Well, we thank you for hosting today's Mesa Morning Live. We really appreciate it. You've got a state-of-the-art facility here, and thanks for sharing it with us. How about a big round of applause for Mr. Neil Baier? Thanks, Neil.